Well, everyone, Mortal Kombat 1 a definitive edition is releasing, which is leading many people to believe that the game is finally canceled. And, I mean, it hasn't been said outright, but I definitely do think that's the case, because that's what usually happens when a game is done or completed and stuff like that. So, Mortal Kombat 1, since the game is more than likely done, because I have heard rumors, like a couple months ago, not a couple months ago, like before the new year started, that the game was done because of its reception. And it honestly makes sense. Like, first off, all right, I actually liked the game. All right, I liked a lot of its new features, like the before the battle, like with the wrist and stuff like that. And I think the starting lineup in this game is better than in 11. Uh, I mean, yeah, 11 had Cabal and Noob, but this game had Smoke, Reptile, Havoc, so many returners from the for the 3D era, and of course Kenshi return. I love Kenshi. However, uh, there was still some flaws of the game. Like, I don't think the wokeness in it was as bad as many people claim it to be. Like, there's still some sex appeal in the game, but it's still a little bit covered up, all right? It feels like, especially like the final two DLC female characters of Mortal Kombat uh, 11, that being Shiva and Melina, like, even they had a bit of sex appeal to them, but it feels like Ed Boon and a couple members of the NetherRealm team wanted to bring in sex appeal back to Mortal Kombat because that's what it's known for, but they're still being held back by the blue-haired man girls who work at the company. I don't know. I just like to throw out insults now because they keep ruining my shit. But they keep trying to turn every single one of my shit into like something Glitch Productions makes. But so but yeah, overall I like the game, but yeah, female Sector and female Cyrex is fucking stupid. I can't believe they went forward with that. Oh, so as a result, I didn't buy the combat pack, which is going to lead us to our next subject. But speaking of the wokeness, I forgot to mention that they are still pushing the whole Tanya and Melina shipping, which is just unnecessary. It's Mortal Kombat's Harley Quinn and Ivy. Yeah, and I thought the guests were pretty good in this game, even though I still haven't seen Invincible. I've definitely never watched The Boys. You can watch other people to figure out my reasoning, but and yeah, the T-1000, Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time. It's my logo. Conan, I'm a huge fan of that character and the comics and the Arnold movies. I'm about to watch Conan the Destroyer for the first time very soon here. I also want to mention that not a lot of people like the guest characters, which I can see why, because it takes spots from actual Mortal Kombat characters, but I personally like them. I like seeing a good crossover from, like, a violent piece of media from nerd culture teaming up with Mortal Kombat. But that's just my opinion, though. And out of all the things NetherRealm would definitely not stop about the franchise, it's the guest characters. Expect more of that shit, bros. Let's go into some of the problems with the game. All right, first we're going to go into the majority senses on the story. I personally didn't mind the story. All right, the game was meant to be a multiverse game, so I didn't mind Teenage Raiden where he was friends with Kung Lao. Like, Liu Kang made him switch roles because it's kind of a reboot, but also kind of a continuation at the same time. Like, I like the idea of Kuai Liang taking the role of Scorpion, like, to let Hanzo rest, Hanzo's soul rest. I think it's an excellent conclusion to his character. Uh, and yeah, there was just a lot of stuff in the plot that I liked, but also disliked too, don't get me wrong. Female Sector and Cyrax for the most part, but yeah, you could definitely tell they were setting something up with Titan Havoc, which again, I'm sad to see this game go, but I'm not one of those acolyte freaks. I'm not gonna throw a hissy fit and blame others for the game's failure. Like, if it wasn't well received, it wasn't well received. And if we're gonna go back to basics, which I think the next Mortal Kombat game will, I think we're gonna go back to what people liked about the characters. Like, no more of this reboot multiverse garbage. And yeah, I do agree. The multiverse plot at the very end of chapter 1 of the story mode was kind of stupid. I mean, it's a decent idea that they all got the hourglass and they all made their own realms, but yeah, fucking female Johnny Cage, Janet Cage. That's like virtue signaling at its finest. Oh, where are you coming? Well, because you're gender swapping for no reason. Also, I forgot to mention, I did also like the cameo system. I thought that was pretty good. But I think the main reason as to why this game failed was because of NetherRealm's greed. All right, all right. So first off, like NetherRealm had such a big ego, they thought they could make this game so big in gigabytes that it was shit for the Switch. And I bought the Switch version, and I was optimistic, and clearly they did fix the game. It's not as perfect, but it's gonna be much, much better when it comes to the Switch too. Don't worry, folks. But and also they had enough greed to overprice their DLC. All right, you have to buy the like the combat pack to get a character early, and you have to wait a week or two later to get that character on his or her own because you didn't get the combat pack. Like, that is just stupid at its finest. Like, if people just don't want a combat pack because of a character, then they don't want it. If they're waiting for their next paycheck at Arby's just to get a fucking character, then just allow them to do it. NetherRealm. And yeah, I also remember the controversies with the $10 Halloween fatality. It was just a giant fucking shit show. All right, and they kept delaying characters over and over and over and over again. Yeah, okay, the game by itself is really good, but how the way it was handled, how the way it was financed behind the scenes was greedy. All right, was NetherRealm greed at its finest. Trust me, if this game came out like this year, all right, a bunch of these grifters would say it's because of Trump, when clearly it was not. But it's fucking greed. Video game companies. NetherRealm is definitely trying to become Nintendo. So what I think we're gonna get, I don't think we're gonna get another Mortal Kombat game for at least another 3 or 4 years. Like, there was a 3-year time gap with Mortal Kombat 11 through Mortal Kombat 1, but I think we're gonna get another Injustice game, maybe another Shaolin Monks, because that's been thrown around out there. I never played a Shaolin Monks game, but I know it's in the Mortal Kombat universe. But yeah, if we do get another Mortal Kombat game, I think we're going back to the original universe. Like, we're gonna do none of this timeline bullshit. Like, we're gonna do a reboot, but we're going to skip and make it seem like everything has already been established. You know, like a bunch of reboots are doing now. So yeah, I'm sad to see Mortal Kombat 1 go. I enjoyed the game for what it is. I liked a lot of its new features. There are, of course, some flaws I had with it. The Switch version fucking sucks. But let me know what you think of all this. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.